What if the way we think about talent is completely wrong? What if the whole point of education isn't just about getting good grades, but about nurturing a child's unique potential so they can live a life of real purpose? Today, we're going to dig into a new model that does exactly that. I mean, this is the question that keeps every parent up at night, right? We send our kids to school, we have all these hopes for them, but is the system we have today actually equipping them for the world they're going to face? Let's be honest about the gap here. The hard truth is, our traditional education model, the one that's kind of one size fits all, was built for the industrial age. But the world has completely transformed. We're living in an age of AI, of automation, and in so many ways, our schools just haven't caught up. And this slide really lays it all out. The old way was all about memorizing facts and competing against your classmates. It prepared kids for a world of routine jobs. But the future? Oh, it demands so much more. It needs critical thinkers who can tackle messy problems, collaborators who can build things together, and personalized learning that really plays to each child's individual strength. And this brings us to a huge point, a real shift in how we think. We always talk about finding a child's talent like it's some kind of buried treasure we have to dig up. But what if that's the wrong way to even look at it? So think of it this way. Talent isn't something a child either has or doesn't have. It's a seed. Every single child has these seeds of potential inside them. But you know what? They can't grow in bad soil. They need to be nurtured. They need the right environment, exposure to new things, and someone to guide them. It's all about cultivation, not discovery. So how do we get good at being gardeners for these seeds? It really just comes down to observation and being curious. Pay attention. What gets them excited? What do they just naturally lean towards? Do they spend hours building things, or do they get lost in telling stories? These aren't just hobbies. They're clues to where their potential is just waiting to sprout. Okay, so to nurture these seeds, we need a special kind of environment, one that's built on 4 absolutely essential, future-ready pillars. And this isn't about getting rid of academics. It's about building real competence and confidence in the areas that are going to matter most for a happy, successful life. All right, pillar number 1 is life skills. I want you to think of these as the fundamental operating system for being a human. They're the core abilities that let a person handle challenges, build good relationships, and just navigate the world. And we're talking about real-world skills here. Being able to communicate your ideas clearly, understanding your own emotions, actually solving a problem instead of just waiting for an answer. These are not soft skills. They're not optional extras. They are the essential tools that will determine how well a child can bounce back from failure and work with other people. Our second pillar is technology. And again, this is not just another subject in school. In the world we live in now, technology is the language of the future. It's the main tool we're all using to create, to connect, and to get things done. And here's the absolute game changer. We need to shift our kids from being passive consumers of technology to being active creators. That means they're not just scrolling, they're building. They're getting their hands dirty, coding a simple app, using AI to make something cool, or editing their own video. That's what real digital fluency looks like. Next up, our third pillar, creativity. And let's get one thing straight. This is not just about being good at drawing. Creativity is the engine that drives innovation and problem solving in absolutely every field you can think of, from science to business. So how do you teach creativity? Well, you don't, really. You foster it. You create a space where kids are encouraged to imagine crazy possibilities, to question everything, to try things out without being afraid to fail, to build prototypes, and to express their unique point of view. It's an active, messy, beautiful process. And that creative process flows perfectly into our final pillar, entrepreneurship. Now, hold on. This isn't about turning every kid into a CEO. It's about building a mindset of taking initiative, of seeing a problem and wanting to fix it, of turning ideas into actual reality. When a child learns how to start something, spot an opportunity, and manage a project all the way from an idea to a finished product, they learn something incredibly powerful, that they can make a difference. They learn to solve real-world problems, not just bubble in answers on a test. So we have these 4 powerful pillars, right? But they need a catalyst to really work. And that brings us to what might be the single most important and often missing pillar in education today, the partnership with parents. This quote really says it all, doesn't it? School is vital, but it is only one piece of the puzzle. The idea that we can just drop our kids off and outsource their entire development, well, it's just not how it works. Real success is a team sport. I mean, the research is crystal clear on this. Parent involvement is the #1 predictor of a child's confidence and motivation. And here's the best part. You don't have to be an expert in coding or a master artist. You just have to be there. Be curious. Ask questions. When you support them instead of pressuring them, you create the exact conditions they need to thrive. So this is what the dream team looks like. It's a strong, collaborative triangle. You've got the child at the center, supported by the parent and the educator, all working together, all on the same page. That's how you build a foundation for growth that is absolutely unshakable. So what's the end game here? What's the ultimate result of this kind of talent-focused approach? What kind of person does this model help create? Because it's not just about better test scores. It's about developing a truly capable, confident, and purposeful human being. The result is kids who grow up to be independent learners, who know how to teach themselves anything. They become resilient thinkers who don't fall apart at the first sign of trouble. They're confident communicators, creative problem solvers, and, maybe most importantly, they become purposeful human beings who know what they're good at and how they want to contribute to the world. This is the kind of education that prepares kids for the world that is, not the world that was. It's about shifting our focus from preparing for the next exam to preparing them for life. And it all begins with a simple, powerful question we can each ask ourselves. What seed of potential in a child can you help water and nurture, starting today?